My name is Giovanni Williams. I just want to share my thoughts on certain things that I see going on in my culture, in my ethnic group. As a people, I think this day and age we have become very complacent, and I don't know if it's because the amount of information that is out there. Because now is a time in our life as people, as black people, where information is so prevalent that I think we tend to get lost in the information that is there. One of the things we have to be careful about is becoming complacent because a lot of things will happen and can happen for us as an ethnic group if we keep moving, whether it's starting businesses, whether it's helping people others who already start businesses by investing some capital into their business, whether it's someone has a piece of land they don't know what to do and we start agriculture projects together. So these are things we have to look into because one thing I see and one thing I realize, especially when you're reading comments on Facebook, I'm not really into Instagram and those things, but I am on Facebook, and when you see a lot of things that have been said, how people say things and how people respond to things, and not just only people, but black people in a whole, it's quite discouraging because we tend to jump on everything that has to do with our blackness and like really make it negative instead of trying to find positive images in it. And I think that's a well planned and learned disease that we have gotten implanted in us that we need to remove because at the end of the day, not everybody will want change for each other. Not everybody, not even in the black community. There are some people that want change and others who are just happy the way things are and they don't see a problem in living day to day. Or maybe they see the problem but they don't want to react on it. So these are things that bothers me because when I see the as we see leaders keep passing on in our society, and you see there are still certain leaders that are out there, you know, we tend to take these things for granted, you know, like the brother, the professor, Dr. Phil Valentine. We have Dr. Umar Johnson. We have Dr. Boyce Watkins. These are men that really showing and take Dr. Boyce Watkins, for example, who is really challenging us to better ourselves financially. Not only challenging, but also showing you how to become more financially stable. And then you have Dr. Phil Valentine showing us that we need to wake up. We need to not fall asleep. We need to not let our minds be overtaken in this mental war that's going on. And then we have Dr. Umar Johnson, who's basically showing us that, hey, if we don't come together and we don't stop allowing ourselves to put all our resources in a place that's not doing something for us, it's not going to work out. You have Dr. Claude Anderson, who has a multitude of work out there showing black people that they need to wake up. So I think with all this out there, to see us still not getting the picture is really disappointing because we need to understand that in order for us to get something done, we have to move. If we don't keep moving, we'll get stuck. They say history replays itself, and we need to be careful of that. When you look into the Caribbean, especially, you see that if you don't have money as a black person, you don't have any houses around water. You don't have any property that can grow produce. You don't. If you have a house, it's somewhere very far from water. The ground is real hard. So we need to be careful and we need to sit back and realize these things. There are a couple movies that were out, and they showed you that that like the projects. I can't even remember. I can't even remember the name of the movie. But I think the guy from Fast and Furious was in one of them. The guy that passed away, he was in one of them. And you saw where the area those guys was living in was completely surrounded, completely gated in, and then they had a complete world on the other side in the same city. Look what they did to the Indians. They keep pushing the Indians in one direction until they almost eliminated everything. So we need to be careful. We need to look out for these strategies because that's what's happening right now today. They're getting a lot of black people, a lot of Hispanic that can't do much for themselves. Even lower class whites, which I refer to lower class whites as casualties of war because white supremacy would sacrifice those people to push their agenda. So when you see them pushing all these people into an area, they know they're creating a melting pot. And if you as an ethnic group are quicker to be chastised and ostracized more than anybody else, you will get the brunt of the burden. So I think it's very important for us as black people to start seeing these things. It's very difficult because a lot of us are brainwashed, and all these like brilliant black men out there really putting their time and their effort to really un unwash the damage that has been done. But it's very difficult because I think our youth today are really not tied in. Majority of them, I can't say everybody, I can't speak for everybody, but from what I keep seeing, there is a lot of youth today that would quicker run to the don't cherish lifestyle and need to have everything, don't have any kind of finances lifestyle, than children who would work, put their money aside to do better. So I think as an ethnic group, we need to look and understand where we came from. Another thing that bothers me is to see how important it is for the Jewish community, the Japanese community, to remember what happened to them in Hiroshima, in Germany, you know, and all these ethnic groups can have a time to remember what happened to them. But as black people, we are taught more to forget what happened to us. And that bothers me. And what bothers me even more is that majority of us as black folks really want to forget slavery. And that's something we can never forget. Listen, 6 million Jews died. It's heart wrenching. But imagine 526 people aboard a slave ship, and we don't even know how much slave ships are going out per month, per year. And that happened for about almost 500 years of slavery, even more, because you had the Arab slave trade. So at the end of the day, that would equate to maybe not even double, quadruple, more than 6 million. But we have to mysteriously forget that. And a lot of black people are buying into the fact that they need to forget slavery. You cannot forget slavery. I'm not saying to forget it, and I'm not saying to keep it and let it be a burden to you, but you cannot forget it because such atrocities cannot be forgotten. If we as a people want to forget that, then trust me, you're doing exactly what white supremacy wants you to do. And that is forget the fact that they were the ones that created the foul play. No, they want to be the savior. You understand? So we need to get out of that syndrome. It's the same thing that when a woman is involved in an abusive man and she stays into the relationship for 20 something years. She can't complain after 20 years that the man is abusive if you knew it from day one. So we know white supremacy is is counter of a black power or a black structure. We know that. So we have to be really careful at what we put out there. And for me personally, I would tell you the best thing to counterattack white supremacy is a black power structure. Why I'm saying that? It's because we have a landmass to back the black power structure, which is Africa. So if we can create a black power structure, right, to to oppose white supremacy, we have the landmass to back us. So that's why they want us to forget slavery. That's why they want us to just, oh, don't worry about it. We need to worry about it because when the black power structure is set in place correctly, we wouldn't even have to ask for anything back, reparations, or we wouldn't even have to ask for that. I'm not saying that it's not due, it is, but if we set a black power structure in place, we have the landmass to back the structure that we will set up. So that's just on my mind. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, don't be a dream chaser. Be a dream creator. Nobody can create your dream for you. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for tuning in.